Time to talk horses now, and 2 weeks from today we will be back with the autumn edition of Racing Dreams. Now there are a big few days in Melbourne coming up with the Asian Racing Conference. Also running in conjunction is the conference for the International Forum for the Aftercare of Racehorses. Joining me live is the chair of the IFAR conference, Dr. Eliot Forbes. Thanks for joining us. So Eliot, what does the IFAR do, in your words?
Good morning, Tim. So IFAR is an independent forum, and we advocate for the lifetime care of retired racehorses. We were established in 2016, and we raise the importance of aftercare in the racing community. And we also advocate for the versatility of the thoroughbred horse in the equestrian community. One of the important things that we do is that we have an annual conference, and this is an opportunity where we highlight the advances in aftercare from around the world. We share best practice, and we also just build and strengthen our industry networks.
We'll see people from not only Asia, but all around the world at this conference.
Yes, we've had a tremendous response. We've got over 200 delegates from 28 countries. We're actually sold out. As you mentioned, the conference will be held in conjunction with the Asian Racing Conference and hosted by Racing Victoria. We've got a great lineup of speakers from Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, and the United Arab Emirates.
Now, how do you hope the 2023 conference will impact the aftercare of retired horses?
Well, this is our first face-to-face conference since the global pandemic ended. So it's obviously an opportunity to reconnect with our colleagues and understand how the various industries coped with the pandemic. But importantly, we want to set the agenda for what's coming next. We want better science, we want better regulation, and a better awareness of our responsibility to our horses.
There's already enormous work done in this area. It's very close to my heart. My wife is formerly worked in equine welfare. She has former racehorses. She's retraining former racehorses into eventers. So I see it every day. There's a lot of misinformation out there as well, isn't there? Look, I was up at the Magic Millions the other day, and some of the protesters, the agitators, some of what they're talking about is just not true.
Well, look, that's true. Our racing authorities are very active in regulation, supporting thoroughbred class events, engaging with the equestrian community and providing a safety net if required, and championing an industry culture that is moral and kind. Ownership is very strong in Australia. In fact, there's 1 in every 254 Australians owns at least a share in a racehorse. We've got more owners in Australia than America, the UK, France, Ireland, Japan, and Hong Kong combined. Even the fact that we've got only 26 million people in this country. That's why each state authority has got arrangements in place, and they take this responsibility very seriously.
Yeah, that is a huge number of Australians that have at least part of a racehorse. What is currently in place to care for retired racehorses?
So the racing authorities tend to have a basket of strategies in terms of a framework of rules where there's requirement for notification of retirement. They collect data and they report on that data. A lot of them have what we call transitioning strategies where they have off-the-track programs. They sponsor thoroughbred class events to try to make it more attractive for people in the equestrian community to pick a thoroughbred. And thoroughbreds, of course, are a very versatile breed who can do a wide range of jobs. Some racing authorities have properties in place where they can house horses for their transition period. There are funding available for charities and a safety net forever in the occasion that a horse might get into trouble.
One of the things that I've noticed in doing Racing Dreams over the past 4 years, and we've done all sorts of stories regarding all sorts of people that work in and across the industry, is one central thing, is that everyone loves the actual horse. Everyone loves the thoroughbred.
You're absolutely right, Tim. Nobody's in the industry unless they have a love for the horse. And aftercare is a reflection of that love. It is a moral responsibility of racehorse ownership, but it's more than just a responsibility. It's actually that tangible expression of that connection to our horses. The human-horse bond is actually something that's been around for a very long time. It's something that's very precious. And when we have strategies in place to support aftercare, that's the manifestation of that bond in action.
And I know that John Massara, who of course is a key industry figure and a good friend of mine, owns Arrowfield Stud. He talks of a cradle to grave mentality in and around thoroughbred racehorses.
Yes, there's certainly opportunities for racehorses when they first leave the track, and that's where a lot of them will be engaged in a lot more elite competition. The data from Racing Australia actually illustrates that in 2022, there are about 35,000 active racehorses in Australia, and 12% of those retired in that year. Now, of those that retired, 68% of those enter the equestrian industry and 27% enter the breeding industry. Now, the sort of jobs they do when they enter equestrian, of course, they can compete at that top level of cross-country, show jumping, maybe even dressage, but they can also find a role in polo, western riding, polo cross, working police horses, and of course, the large sector that go into the breeding industry.
How does IFAR support horse aftercare?
So we promote awareness and we share best practice. We organise our conference. We've got our Aftercare toolkit, which is a basket of strategies that we put in place to help guide racing authorities, particularly in relation to across the racing world. There's a whole range of racing industries. Not every racing industry every strategy is going to suit a particular country. So what we do is that we've outlined a basket of strategies and help racing authorities move towards ones that are going to be suitable for their environment. And of course, we bring people together. Networking is a tremendous opportunity to share best practice, and knowing what other people are doing in this space is very important. And it's also an opportunity where we can challenge ourselves to do better, because there's always room for improvement.
A line Johnny Tapp often uses, a very famous racing commentator, of course, great man. The outside of a horse can do remarkable things to the inside of a human being. I'm too big to be riding horses, but I absolutely love them, and I love the impact that they have on people.
Well, I think that's the thing, is that when we bring humans and horses together, there's something special in that, and that is a bond that is precious and timeless.